Imagine a donut. No, not that donut. But this donut interposed over a city. This is what a sociologist named Ernest Burgess imagined back in 1925. Looking at Chicago, he basically said, the city's a pastry. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Madrid, donut. KL, donut. LA, also shockingly, a donut. So today, we're cracking open the donut theory of cities, why some cities turn their donut inside out, and why one city in Dubai looked at this whole mess and said, yeah, we're not doing that. Here's the theory in one breath. Burgess said cities grow outwards in rings, like a tree if trees were horrifyingly capitalist. Ring 1, downtown. Offices, banks, the part of the city where lunch costs $18. Ring 2, factories and grime, the zone nobody puts on a postcard. And then the working class, and then the middle class, and way out at the edge, the wealthy suburbs. The idea is, the richer you are, the further you get to run from the mess your money helped create. Cute theory. Chicago said, hold my beer. Step 1, the Great Migration. Starting in 1910, millions of Black Americans left the South for Chicago, chasing jobs and a way out of Jim Crow. But with basically no money and a housing market that did not want them, new arrivals got funneled, like an urban Dyson, into a handful of neighborhoods in the inner city. Ring 1, occupied. Now, according to Burgess, the next generation should have built some savings and drifted outwards, right? 'Cause that's the whole donut deal. Yeah, well, the government had other plans. Enter redlining. The government literally color-coded the city. Green meant safe to lend here. Red meant absolutely do not. And the pattern? The second a neighborhood stopped being white, it turned red. No loans, no mortgages, no wealth. Just frozen in place for decades. Meanwhile, white families got cheap loans, new highways, and a one-way ticket to the suburbs. This is white flight, and boy did they fly hard. In Chicago's West Town, the white population went from 98% to 55% in just 20 years. The middle rings of the donut just emptied out. Then the 70s rolled in, and deindustrialization finished the job. Factories closed, jobs vanished, and the economic engine of the inner city just died. Congratulations, Chicago. You now have a literal donut, a literal hole where the center used to be. But fast forward to today, and Chicago's donut is doing something weird. It's flipping inside out. Money started flowing back into the center. Gentrification swept through old industrial neighborhoods, causing prices to shoot up. And like some kind of cursed law of physics, every action pulling wealth inward had an equal and opposite reaction, pushing lower-income families further out. So Chicago went from rich people flee the center to rich people sprint back, and everyone else gets the bill. Same donut, filling moved. Is the donut universal? No. Meet London. Here, rich people have always lived near the center, and the poorer folks got pushed to the edges, inverted from the jump. Why? Because of the wind. During the Industrial Revolution, wind blew west to east, so all the factory smoke drifted east. The wealthy said absolutely not and built their mansions upwind in the West End. The East End got the smoke, the docks, and the grind. After World War II, London planners deliberately mixed income levels, placing fancy homes next to social housing on purpose. They drew a literal green belt around the city so it couldn't sprawl outwards. Net result, wealth stayed put, and now that center is gentrifying eastward into Shoreditch and Hackney, pricing out people who've lived there for generations. Same ending as Chicago, different route. And then there's this. In 2005, the developer Nikhil looked at basically every city we just talked about and went, we're not doing any of that. Meet JVC, Jumeirah Village Circle. Yes, it's literally a circle, but plot twist, it is not a donut. Planners knew the circle would be surrounded by highways, so they put the tall buildings on the outside, like a noise-canceling wall, and kept the center quiet, green, and residential. JVC was never trying to be a downtown. Burgess never even crossed their minds. And here's the fun part. Different bits of JVC got expensive for completely different reasons. Want nightlife and a mall downstairs? That zone's premium. Want a quiet park view? Different zone, also premium. Like the city said, why have one donut hole when we can have several for different tastes? No segregation by accident, no century of policy baggage, just people looking at history's mistakes and going maybe don't. So, Chicago, a donut, then inside out donut. London, a donut, but born inside out. And Dubai, which saw the donut, said no thanks, and built a really nice bagel instead. The point is, the shape of your city was never an accident. It's politics, economics, and sometimes literally just which way the wind blows, all baked together. Cities don't happen to us, we make them, which also means we can also remake them.